Xiyue, upon hearing this, nodded slightly and then said, "So, it is. Then indeed, it is my presumption." Lin Jing, with a calm demeanor, replied, "No matter. If there is nothing else Xiyue needs, I shall take my leave first." Lin Jing felt that there was something off about Xiyue, sensing an inexplicable strangeness, and naturally wished not to linger, hence the suggestion to depart. After hearing this, Xiyue chuckled and said, "Lin Daoyu, I did indeed come to you for a reason." Lin Jing then spoke up, asking, "What is it?" Xiyue smiled and replied, "I want to have a competition with you." Upon hearing this, Lin Jing was initially stunned and then looked at Xiyue, who was also gazing into his eyes, locking stares. Though Xiyue was smiling as she spoke those words, her eyes were incredibly serious. It appeared she was not jesting, but truly wished to test her skills against Lin Jing. Lin Jing lowered his head to avoid Xiyue's gaze and began to contemplate. Moments later, Lin Jing raised his head again to look at Xiyue and said directly, "Daoyu, I'm afraid I cannot accede to your request. During this period, I still need to make more preparations to concoct the cleansing spirit elixir. Furthermore, I do not like to be disturbed when I practice alchemy, and unless it is a special circumstance, I equally dislike competing in public." Upon hearing Lin Jing's words, Xiyue nodded slightly and mused. "Ah, so that's it." After finishing her sentence, Xiyue pondered for a while and then added, "Since Lin Daoyu does not like to be disturbed during alchemy, why don't we try a different method and compete separately?" Lin Jing observed Xiyue, who still looked at him with a beaming smile, showing no sign of abandoning the idea of challenging him. Lin Jing frowned slightly and then questioned Xiyue, "Is this competition really necessary?" Xiyue nodded, her face breaking into a smile as she said, "My nephew may be no good, but as his aunt, I must reclaim some face for him. Otherwise, if he complains to his grandfather about me not helping him, then I'll truly be in trouble." Although she said this, the smile on Xiyue's face remained, showing no genuine concern. Lin Jing furrowed his brows and, after a moment of thought, finally said, "What method do you suggest, Daoyu?" Xiyue then said, "Lin Daoyu, are you not meant to help Yin Daoyu concoct the cleansing spirit elixir? Let's take the task of making the cleansing spirit elixir as our competition. I will go to Yin Daoyu and ask him for a set of components for the cleansing spirit elixir. I will concoct one, and you, Lin Daoyu, will concoct another. Then we can compete in this manner. Of course, our competition need not specify location or time, nor will there be an audience to witness. We simply concoct our own elixirs, and in the end, we shall see whose elixir is of higher quality. Lin Daoyu, what do you think?" After she finished, Xiyue continued to look at Lin Jing with interest, awaiting his response. The concoction of this cleansing spirit elixir is not so simple. Lin Jing will inevitably have to enter the alchemy room in the system space to have any chance of producing the supreme elixir that Yin Ming needs. This is one reason why Lin Jing would not engage in a competition with Xiyue. For the cleansing spirit elixir, Yin Ming has already expended too much effort, and since he trusts Lin Jing so much, Lin Jing would not wish to disappoint him. Therefore, in this round of alchemy, Lin Jing would give it his all. There is another thing. It's that Xiyue seems very off. Lin Jing always felt that she might have learned something. Observing the look in Xiyue's eyes when she gazed at him, and that indescribable smile on her stunningly beautiful face, Lin Jing even began to suspect that his identity as a descendant and heir of the Lin family might have already been exposed. After giving it some thought, Lin Jing found Xiyue's method for the challenge to actually be quite suitable. If she really had discovered his identity, there was no way he could avoid it. He might as well agree to it directly and also take the opportunity to probe her true intentions. Lin Jing then nodded and said, "Very well, I accept this challenge." Upon hearing Lin Jing's response, Xiyue's eyes crinkled at the corners, and she laughed. When Xiyue laughed, she looked even more beautiful. However, with his guard fully raised now, Lin Jing was unclear about this woman's motives, and naturally had no heart to appreciate her beauty. Continuing on, Xiyue spoke again. Good. Since Lin Daoyu has agreed, we naturally need to discuss the matter of the stakes. After speaking, Xiyue turned to Lin Jing and directly asked, I'm just not sure what Lin Daoyu would want for the stakes. The Peerless Elixir Manual, divine weapons, or some rare and extraordinary treasure. As long as Lin Daoyu states it, no matter what it is, I will do my best to satisfy your demands. Even if Lin Daoyu wishes to become the offering priest elder of the Elixir Hall of the Xiyue Elixir sect, it's not out of the question. On hearing Xiyue's generous offer, Lin Jing's brow furrowed even more deeply. Just a small competition, yet she was giving away such considerable conditions. It was simply too unreasonable. Lin Jing then looked at Xiyue, who still wore that same smiling expression, her eyes brimming with laughter as she looked at him. Could this competition in fact be a trap? Lin Jing couldn't help pondering. A moment later, Lin Jing looked at Xiyue and directly asked, The stakes Ji Daoyu is offering are so significant, it's somewhat difficult for me to decide. I'd like to know, what price would I need to pay if I were the one to lose? Xiyue looked at Lin Jing and said, What I want is actually quite simple. If I win, all I need is for Lin Daoyu to answer a single question for me. Just one question? Lin Jing asked in disbelief after hearing this. Yes, Xiyue looked at Lin Jing and nodded. What would that question be? Lin Jing asked directly. Xiyue spoke again, this time with a serious expression, saying to Lin Jing, Lin Daoyu, are you the descendant of an ancient alchemy path family? You just need to answer this question for me. As expected, Xiyue had her suspicions about him and had come prepared. She must have begun to suspect him when Lin Jing successfully produced the elixir medicine, only she wasn't quite sure. Therefore, she had proposed this competition as a way to confirm Lin Jing's identity. And now that the situation had progressed to this point, with Xiyue revealing her purpose, even if Lin Jing were to suggest giving up the competition now, it would no longer be meaningful, because the very proposition of this competition was a trap in itself. If Lin Jing were to suggest giving up now, it would only further confirm Xiyue's speculations. Furthermore, it seemed that the outcome of the competition was not so important anymore. Xiyue was known as the #1 genius alchemist of the Xiyue Elixir sect, and her own strength must be extraordinary. If Lin Jing could win against her in the competition, then even if Lin Jing didn't answer that question, the result would be the same. After all, anyone who could defeat the #1 talent of the Xiyue Elixir sect must surely be a descendant of a family with an even longer heritage of the ancient alchemy path. So, whether he spoke the answer or not, what difference would it make? And the bet she proposed was a trap set to prevent Lin Jing from deliberately losing to her. This woman, she really knows how to scheme. It's just unknown whether she has other motives for doing this. Lin Jing looked at Xiyue, and at this moment, she was still smiling at Lin Jing, waiting for his answer without any hurry. All right, if you win, I will naturally tell you. Lin Jing then spoke. Hearing that Lin Jing had accepted this bet, Xiyue smiled even more joyfully before asking Lin Jing again. Lin Daoyu, I wonder if you have thought about it. If you win, what would you want? Lin Jing looked at Xiyue and then spoke directly. Since you want me to answer a question for you, correspondingly, if you lose, I need you to answer 3 questions for me. I wonder what Ji Daoyu thinks about this. Upon hearing this, Xiyue was momentarily startled, then smiled and said, 3. Lin Daoyu, you really don't let yourself be at a disadvantage at all. With that said, Xiyue continued. 3 it is, I'll take the bet with you. But I don't know what 3 questions Lin Daoyu is going to ask. Lin Jing replied, Those 3 questions, I haven't thought of them yet. Once I have, I will naturally tell you. That's fine then, Xiyue said. And so, the affair of the competition was settled between the 2 of them. Next, Lin Jing didn't stay long here, but said goodbye to Xiyue directly and left. After seeing Lin Jing off, Xiyue stared in the direction he had departed, lost in thought for a long time, wondering what. Upon returning, Lin Jing was immediately surrounded by Lin Ju and Yiyun. Lin Ju's curiosity was indeed quite strong. Brother, what did that woman want with you? She even asked to meet you alone. Could it be that she's taken a fancy to you? Cough. Upon hearing Lin Ju's words, Yiyun coughed and said, "Isn't this a bit inappropriate to say? You blockhead, what else could she want by asking to meet my brother alone?" Lin Ju glanced askance at Yiyun. I'm not sure. Faced with Lin Ju's strong rebuff, Yiyun's momentum immediately waned. Then, Lin Ju turned back to Lin Jing. Lin Jing then began to speak. "She wants to have an alchemy competition with me." "An alchemy competition?" Lin Ju and Yiyun exclaimed in unison, both looking at Lin Jing. Could it be because of today's events? She's still not convinced, so she wants to regain her honor against you. Brother, Lin Ju said somewhat angrily. Lin Jing then looked at Lin Ju and said earnestly, "You, in the future, you should also start to control your temper." "Me?" Lin Ju looked at Lin Jing puzzled, very much not understanding. "What about me?" Lin Jing spoke straightforwardly. That Xiyue must have already guessed the identity of our Lin family's descendant. No way. Lin Ju suddenly felt a bit guilty, recalling the way Xiyue had seriously observed the elixir medicine at the alchemy room. How did she guess? Could it be because of the elixir medicine I made? Lin Jing nodded and said, "That should be the case. Although we now possess a part of the Lin family's alchemy Dao heritage, it is actually only a fraction of the entire alchemy Dao heritage. The complete alchemy Dao heritage should include not only the alchemy technique, but also the identification of spirit plants and various elixir medicines, especially the elixir medicines produced by the various alchemy Dao noble families. With our current knowledge, we can't tell any difference at all. But if it were a noble family with the complete heritage of the alchemy Dao or another power, they might very well be able to distinguish the differences and naturally identify our identities through the elixir medicines." Upon hearing this, Lin Ju immediately lowered her head, full of regret, and said, "Brother, I was wrong. I really shouldn't have been so impulsive." Lin Jing then spoke, consoling, "Actually, it's not entirely your fault. After all, you did it with good intentions, and I only realized this issue after the incident occurred. You just need to be a bit more careful when practicing alchemy in the future." Lin Ju nodded, then asked Lin Jing, "Brother, now that our identities have been discovered by her, what should we do?" Lin Jing thought for a moment, then said, "Actually, it can't be said that we've been exposed, only that she has her suspicions. Her request to compete with me was actually a test. It's not just a test, but also a stratagem." Upon hearing these words, the two of them were lost in a fog, even more clueless as to his meaning. Lin Jing then shared his own conjectures with them. Upon hearing them, both seemed troubled. Lin Jing spoke to comfort them. "Actually, there's no need to worry. Even if our identities are exposed, it doesn't matter. After all, our Lin family had no previous dealings with the demon monster Inner Sea or the Western Demon region, and Xiyue probably bears us no ill will either." "Brother, are you sure?" Lin Ju looked at Lin Jing with doubt. Lin Jing pondered for a moment, then spoke, "I feel." Upon hearing this, Lin Ju was momentarily speechless. "Brother, you haven't been bewitched by that woman, have you? You can't be. Qing is still waiting for you." Lin Jing's face was immediately lined with black. Lin Ju, this girl, now dared to tease him like this. Lin Jing then promptly spoke to Lin Ju. "You should worry about yourself first. And there's Yiyun. Shouldn't you two decide on your own matters as well? If you two have come to an agreement, I can make the decision and arrange a wedding banquet for you. And then you two will be Dao companions." Master, this. When it came to these matters, Yiyun became incredibly nervous, and his face turned red in an instant. He even began to stutter. Lin Ju was the same, blushing instantly upon hearing Lin Jing's words, and quickly tried to defend herself. This matter, we're not ready for it yet. There's no rush." Lin Jing looked at the two of them, shaking his head helplessly. "You two, forget it. You two discuss it amongst yourselves. Understood, brother. You get some rest. We'll be going now. As soon as Lin Jing finished speaking, perhaps afraid that Lin Jing would bring the topic up again, she immediately ran away. Master, you rest well. I'm also going back. Lin Jing waved his hand at Xiyue, saying, Go ahead. Afterward, Xiyue directly gave Lin Jing a bow and left as well. On the morning of the second day, Yanming found Lin Jing and inquired about the competition between the two of them. It turned out that early in the morning, Xiyue had sought out Yanming to inform him about the competition with Lin Jing, and she had obtained a list of materials for refining the cleansing spirit elixir from Yanming. Yanming was quite confident in Xiyue's alchemy level and was very pleased that she was willing to craft the elixirs for him. After all, Xiyue was the recognized top talent alchemist of the Xiyue elixir sect, so there was no need to elaborate on her alchemy skills. Although the two knew each other, their relationship was not yet at that level of closeness. Yanming himself was very aware that Xiyue's friendship was not enough for her to agree to craft elixirs for him. When Yanming confirmed the alchemy competition details from Lin Jing, he was silent for a while before patting Lin Jing on the shoulder, comforting him with a few words, and then said no more. Clearly, even Yanming, who had asked Lin Jing to craft elixirs, did not have high hopes for him. Lin Jing had nothing to say about this. Everything would have to wait until the elixir medicine was refined. Yanming did not stay long here. After exchanging a few pleasantries with Lin Jing and offering some words of comfort, he left. Soon, another 2 days had passed. The upgrade of Lin Jing's system space had reached the 6th day and would be complete in just one more day. It was early in the morning on this day that Xiyue came to Lin Jing and stated she was ready to start the alchemy process. And furthermore, Xiyue had specifically invited Lin Jing to observe her alchemy. After considering Xiyue's invitation, Lin Jing decided to decline it politely. Although, watching the preparation process before crafting the elixir medicine would have been somewhat helpful to him. However, Lin Jing being there might influence Xiyue, and while it would have been fine under normal circumstances, this alchemy session involved a wager between them, so it wouldn't be fair to Xiyue for Lin Jing to observe her process in advance. For this reason, Lin Jing chose to refuse. Hearing Lin Jing's explanation, Xiyue didn't say anything more, bade him farewell, and left. Xiyue had arrived in the morning, and by the time the news of her finishing the cleansing spirit elixir came, it was already evening. Xiyue truly lived up to her reputation as Xiyue elixir sect's recognized genius alchemist, for she succeeded in her first attempt at crafting the cleansing spirit elixir. This batch yielded a superior grade and a medium grade cleansing spirit elixir. However, she failed to refine a topmost grade elixir. Yanming felt somewhat regretful about this outcome. Taking a topmost grade cleansing spirit elixir would result in an 80 chance of enhancing the spiritual root's quality by 1 grade. Whereas for a superior grade elixir, the chance was only 50. To talk about it, a 50 chance was actually not low. But, given the special nature of the cleansing spirit elixir, each person could only consume 1 pill, as the second would be useless. Although Yanming's plan was for Yanxing and Xiyue, the sisters, to take the topmost grade cleansing spirit elixir. After Xiyue had refined the elixirs, Yanming, holding the superior grade elixir, still wrestled with his thoughts for a long time, considering whether to let the sisters take the superior elixir medicine immediately and try to enhance their spiritual roots. In the end, after a struggle, Yanming decided not to let the sisters consume the elixir medicine for the time being. Nevertheless, there would be one more opportunity, so it might as well be Lin Jing's turn to try. After all, this was about his daughter's lifetime, and Yanming didn't want any mishaps to occur. After finishing the elixir medicine refinement, Xiyue came to Lin Jing once more, and informed Lin Jing of some particular things to pay attention to when crafting the cleansing spirit elixir. While Xiyue was telling Lin Jing about the important points during the process, Lin Jing looked at her somewhat distractedly. Afterward, Lin Jing voiced his doubts. Fellow Taoist, You actually don't care about the outcome of this competition, right? Xiyue then looked up at Lin Jing, meeting his scrutinizing gaze. Caring and not caring. It's pretty much the same to me. I'm just looking for an answer, Xiyue said softly, looking at Lin Jing. Subsequently, Lin Jing did not ask any more questions. And after speaking with Lin Jing, Xiyue left directly. Quickly, another day passed by. 7 days had passed, and the system prompt that Lin Jing had been eagerly awaiting finally rang out again. Ding! System prompt. System upgrade complete. System space now reopened. New feature unlocked. The host may enter the system space to check. After receiving the prompt that the system space had successfully upgraded, Lin Jing first extended his divine sense to sweep around, ensuring there were no abnormalities. Then, he called out the system and entered the system space. Upon entering the system space, the first thing Lin Jing felt was the thick spiritual energy. The concentration of spiritual energy this time was unprecedented. It surpassed even the most enriched spirit field on Spirit Rock Island and the Ution Hall on Ution Island, places Lin Jing had visited before. Then, Lin Jing spoke out loud to call out the system again. Open the system panel. As Lin Jing's voice fell, a system panel appeared in front of him. System space, level 7. Remaining time, 206 hours. Accumulable, 700 hours. Host, Lin Jing. Spirit field area, 70 acres. Spiritual energy concentration, 7. Time flow rate, 7. Daily entry time, 12 hours full. Upgrade requirements, 550/1, 000,000 harvest points. Special functions, alert, observe, time accumulation for seasons, environmental terrain, spirit plant repair, bonus attachment, instant growth of spirit plants, elixir medicine, and spirit plant recycling. New feature, spirit field expansion. The host may spend harvest points to expand the spirit fields within the system space. The harvest points required will increase progressively with the expansion area. This new system feature was spirit field expansion. Previously, Lin Jing had always felt that the area of the spirit field was too small and hardly sufficient. That's why he had opened up a spirit field on Lian Island and planted spirit plants to use for alchemy and to obtain harvest points. Now with this new feature, things were much better. Even if he was not on Lian Island, he could still expand the spirit plants, planting more low-grade spirit plants, in order to refine elixirs at any time. He would no longer have to worry about running out of spirit plants. However, it was not stated how many harvest points were needed for the spirit field expansion, which you have to check himself. Afterward, Lin Jing called out the system again. System, use the new feature, Spirit Field Expansion. As Lin Jing's voice fell, the system panel in front of him changed. A new interface appeared on the panel, featuring 70 bright little squares. Besides these bright squares, around them, there were also many dark square shadows. Lin Jing then reached out to one of the dark shadows and touched it. Upon touching, a system prompt box popped up. Spirit Field Expansion requires 100 harvest points. Do you wish to expand? Lin Jing hesitated for a moment before choosing to expand. After Lin Jing made the choice to expand, a system prompt followed. Ding! System prompt. Host has expanded the spirit field, spending 100 harvest points. Current remaining harvest points, 450 harvest points. As the system prompt finished, changes began to occur in the system space. At the edge of the spirit field, a barren piece of ground began to transform. The rocky soil slowly changed, turning from stone to earth in the blink of an eye, as the transformation completed. And that rocky ground turned into a fertile spirit field. Lin Jing stepped forward to inspect the newly expanded spirit field, which was indistinguishable from the other spirit fields and covered the same 1-acre area. After inspecting, Lin Jing opened the spirit field expansion panel again and chose to expand a second spirit field. Now, this second spirit field expansion required 200 harvest points. This time, Lin Jing frowned slightly but chose to expand again. Then, he selected another plot. The expansion of this third spirit field required 300 harvest points. With only 250 harvest points left, Lin Jing didn't have enough and chose not to expand further. By now, Lin Jing had understood the increment rule for spirit field expansion. The first plot was 100 harvest points, the second was 200, and the third would be 300. That's how they progressively increased. In this way, it was actually manageable, and Lin Jing could afford it. After expanding the spirit fields, Lin Jing didn't stay longer in the system space and immediately left. Upon leaving the system space, Lin Jing headed towards Yin Ming's residence to collect the materials needed to refine the cleansing spirit elixir and prepared to start alchemy. When Lin Jing arrived at Yin Ming's residence, he found that Xiyue was also there. Yin Ming and Xiyue seemed to be discussing something at the time. After Lin Jing arrived, the two of them stood up and approached him. As the three of them came closer, Yin Ming spoke with a puzzled tone, asking Lin Jing, "Lin Daoyu, why have you come? Could it be that you are ready?" Lin Jing nodded and replied, "Yes, I have finished my preparations and am ready to start alchemy." Hearing Lin Jing's words, Yin Ming smiled and said, "Good. I've been preparing these materials all along." Upon finishing his sentence, Yin Ming didn't hesitate and took out the cleansing spirit elixir materials he had prepared from a space ring and handed them to Lin Jing. At this moment, Xiyue also promptly said, "Lin Daoyu, you need not worry about making the elixir medicine. Just go ahead and give it your best shot. If this batch of elixir medicine doesn't succeed, then I will simply return to the Nanming domain and get 2 white jade cleansing spirit grasses from my father." Lin Jing looked at Xiyue, somewhat puzzled. Xiyue then explained, "The challenge to alchemize was proposed by me, so naturally, I shouldn't let Yin Daoyu bear the cost of the materials alone. I have already discussed it with Yin Daoyu. After the challenge, if the alchemized supreme cleansing spirit elixirs are fewer than 2, I will compensate Yin Daoyu with 2 more white jade cleansing spirit grasses. However, if you Lin Daoyu can alchemize 2 supreme elixir medicines in a single batch, then I will give those 2 white jade cleansing spirit grasses to you." At this point, Yin Ming also added, "Ji Daoyu is just now discussing this matter with me. Lin Daoyu, from here on, it's all up to you." Lin Jing glanced at Xiyue and then turned to Yin Ming, saying, "I will do my utmost." After leaving Yin Ming, Lin Jing went straight to the alchemy room. Previously, Lin Jing had made it clear that he preferred not to be disturbed while performing alchemy. Therefore, Lin Jing went there alone. The alchemy room on Spirit Rock Island was quite decent, and the formation in the alchemy room was not simple either. After arriving at the alchemy room, Lin Jing activated the formation of the room and then entered the system space within the alchemy room. Once inside the system space, Lin Jing quickly set up the alarm range to avoid any accidents. Subsequently, he went inside the alchemy room of the system space. Now, the alchemy room of the system space had been upgraded to level 6 by Lin Jing. A 6th level alchemy room had a 20% chance to enhance the quality of 5th rank elixir medicines, potentially creating pure elixirs. This was Lin Jing's greatest reliance on alchemizing the cleansing spirit elixirs. Upon entering the alchemy room, Lin Jing first took out the cloud pattern purple gold furnace and placed it in the center of the room. Then he took out the spirit plants he had just received from Yin Ming from his space ring. Of course, there was also a spirit storing bead among them, which contained a drop of cleansing spirit liquid. This cleansing spirit liquid was also of utmost importance. After retrieving the materials, Lin Jing began the preliminary refining process. Once he had processed all the materials, Lin Jing started to operate the Divine Fire Triple Realm. Subsequently, a cluster of purple flames burst forth from Lin Jing's hands, which he then moved to the bottom of the pill furnace. It wasn't until a moment later that Lin Jing began to add the various spirit plants into the pill furnace one by one in sequence. This time, Lin Jing added all the spirit plants into the furnace save for the cleansing spirit liquid and white jade cleansing spirit grass. The concoction of the cleansing spirit elixir was slightly different from other elixir medicines. It required the other spirit plants to be refined first, turning them into medicinal liquid before the white jade cleansing spirit grass could be refined. The cleansing spirit liquid was the catalyst for fusing the two medicinal liquids together and was also the most critical component. Once Lin Jing added all other spirit plants besides the white jade, cleansing spirit grass into the pill furnace, he immediately began the sealing and refining process. As time slowly passed, after more than 2 hours, all of those spirit plants in the pill furnace had been refined into a black medicinal liquid. It was at this point that Lin Jing, while continuing the refining process, opened the pill furnace. He then added the white jade cleansing spirit grass and the spirit storing bead into the pill furnace. After adding all these into the pill furnace, Lin Jing resealed the furnace and continued the refining. At this juncture, Lin Jing had to control the flame at the bottom of the furnace as well as everything inside the pill furnace. Inside the furnace at this time, the black medicinal liquid was ceaselessly churning and changing shape, while the white jade, cleansing spirit grass, stayed away from the black liquid, undergoing continuous refining. The spirit storing bead containing the cleansing spirit liquid had not yet been opened and was situated at the topmost part of the pill furnace. Lin Jing needed to ensure that the three did not interfere with each other, which was one of the more challenging aspects of concocting the cleansing spirit elixir. Xiyue had also mentioned this to Lin Jing, that this step must not be taken lightly. The slightest slackness would ruin the elixir furnace medicine. Time continued to pass, and almost 3 hours went by. At this stage, Lin Jing had been concocting this batch of cleansing spirit elixirs for close to 12 hours. Inside the pill furnace, the black medicinal liquid had turned transparent, and the white jade, cleansing spirit grass, had been fully refined into a solution resembling white jade. Lin Jing, who was seated cross-legged beside the pill furnace, was already sweating slightly from his forehead, not daring to be negligent in the slightest, focusing intently on controlling the 2 batches of medicinal liquid inside. The concoction of the cleansing spirit elixir was extremely draining. Even someone with Lin Jing's strength of divine sense found it taxing. Fortunately, the elixir furnace medicine was nearing the final step, and as long as there were no mistakes at this juncture, the batch would be successful. A moment later, the 2 batches of medicinal liquid swirled and chased each other inside the pill furnace like a pair of goldfish. It was then that Lin Jing used his divine sense to control the spirit-storing bead, bringing it between the 2 medicinal liquids before slowly opening it. The moment the spirit-storing bead opened, the cleansing spirit liquid within began to evaporate, but this time the evaporation occurred inside the pill furnace and was enveloped by the 2 medicinal liquids. Both batches of medicinal liquid greedily absorbed the cleansing spirit liquid from the spirit-storing bead, and as they continuously absorbed it, they slowly began to change. Finally, under Lin Jing's careful control, the 2 batches of medicinal liquid fused into one, forming a white, glowing solution. It was the instant this solution formed that the rich and refreshing fragrance of the elixir wafted from it. At this point, the batch of the cleansing spirit elixir was almost ready. Lin Jing then immediately activated his cultivation technique, consolidating spiritual power, and intensified the flame at the bottom of the furnace, commencing the final pill condensation. In less than a quarter of an hour, the fragrance of elixir filled the entire alchemy room, and then a system notification popped up. Elixir medicine concoction successful. Alchemy proficiency plus 75. The system prompt came, but there was no notification of reward with harvest points. The batch of elixir medicine Lin Jing refined didn't result in the production of pure cleansing spirit elixirs. Failing to produce pure cleansing spirit elixirs was actually quite normal, given that the chance of producing 5th rank elixir medicines wasn't that high. Moreover, this was his first attempt at refining cleansing spirit elixirs, so the absence of pure elixir medicine was within Lin Jing's expectations. Then, Lin Jing stood up, took a step forward, opened the pill furnace, and looked inside. He saw 4 elixir medicines, the color of creamy white jade, lying inside the pill furnace. Next to the cleansing spirit elixirs, there lay a spirit-storing bead, which, like the elixir medicines, lay at the bottom of the pill furnace. However, The spirit storing bead was in an open state at this time, and the cleansing spirit liquid inside it had disappeared, having been fully absorbed into the elixir medicines. Afterward, Lin Jing extended his hand and, summoning his spiritual power, enveloped the elixir medicines inside the pill furnace and brought them in front of him for a closer inspection. Out of the 4 cleansing spirit elixirs, 2 were extremely round, the entire elixir medicine flawless like white jade and emitting a rich fragrance. These 2 were precisely the superior grade cleansing spirit elixirs that Yin Ming had been so eagerly anticipating, which Lin Jing had managed to refine in a single batch. Besides those 2 superior grade cleansing spirit elixirs, there was another elixir medicine, also resembling white jade, but with some slight imperfections on its surface. This was a superior grade elixir medicine. The last one was neither very round nor smooth, its surface marred by clearly visible mottled impurities. It was a medium grade cleansing spirit elixirs. In this batch, Lin Jing had produced 2 superior grade cleansing spirit elixirs, while Xiyue had managed to produce only 2 medium grade cleansing spirit elixirs. It was evident that Lin Jing had won this competition. Thinking back to the wager they had made before, Lin Jing couldn't help but ponder for a moment. Since he had won the bet, Xiyue would have to answer 3 of his questions, which Lin Jing still needed to consider carefully. After all, Xiyue's behavior earlier had been all too suspicious, and Lin Jing was eager to find out how much she knew and what her real intentions were. A moment later, Lin Jing took out 3 jade bottles and divided the elixir medicines among them for packaging. These elixir medicines were all meant for Yin Ming in the end. Lin Jing himself had no intention of keeping any for himself. After all, the alchemy ingredients were provided by Yin Ming, who also invited him to assist with the alchemy. Doing otherwise would not only be unfair to Yin Ming, but also to the sisters Yin Xing and Xiyue. Even though Lin Jing only needed to present one of the superior grade cleansing spirit elixirs to satisfy the agreement and win the bet with Xiyue, Lin Jing disdained to do so. Over the years, he had acquired many rare spirit plants from Spirit Rock Island. Yin Ming had never said much about it, and when it came to very rare spirit plant seeds, Yin Ming was quite generous. Besides, Lin Jing's spirit fields in the system space already contained most of the materials needed for refining cleansing spirit elixirs, except for the white jade cleansing spirit grass. If he wanted cleansing spirit elixirs, he just needed to acquire white jade cleansing spirit grass to start the refining process. The reason Lin Jing had been able to possess these spirit plants so quickly was all thanks to Yin Ming's efforts. Having refined these 2 superior grade cleansing spirit elixirs today, Lin Jing felt he can finally give Yin Ming a proper explanation. After packing the elixir medicines, Lin Jing retrieved the spirit storing bead from the pill furnace and stored the pill furnace itself in his space ring. Having completed all these tasks, Lin Jing then left the alchemy room and went to the nearby spirit fields outside. With the system upgrade, Lin Jing used harvest points to expand by 2 more acres, resulting in a total of 12 additional acres of spirit fields now. These spirit fields should naturally not be left barren, Lin Jing thought. It was essential to plant some spirit plants in them. However, Lin Jing didn't have any ready spirit plant seeds. Even if he wanted to accelerate the growth of a spirit plant to produce an extra portion, he didn't have enough harvest points at the moment. But Lin wasn't worried. Although Lin Jing didn't have any with him, this place was Spirit Rock Island, and Lin Jing could ask Yin Ming for some lower-ranked spirit plant seeds when the time came. Let's do that. After pondering, Lin Jing didn't stay long in the system's space and immediately left it, reappearing in the alchemy room on Spirit Rock Island. Once back in the alchemy room, Lin Jing first sent out his divine sense to scan the surroundings. No sooner had Lin Jing's divine sense reached out than he detected Lin Jue and Xiyue. They had actually been standing guard outside the alchemy room all along, acting as protectors for him. This alchemy process was taking place within Spirit Rock Island. It was supposed to be relatively safe and not necessarily require protectors. Presumably, they were afraid Xiyue or Ling might come to make trouble, and that's why they did so. After all, There was a bet previously between the two. However, we didn't really need to do this, as the formation outside the alchemy room on Spirit Rock Island was not simple and not easily broken. Besides, let alone Xiyue, even Ling wouldn't likely be able to pull off such a feat here on Spirit Rock Island. Having detected Lin Jing and Xiyue, Lin Jing chose not to pay them any mind, as Lin Jing had completed the elixir in the system space, although 6 hours had passed inside, with the 7-fold time acceleration of the system space. In the outside world, barely an hour had actually gone by. Technically, Lin Jing should still be in the midst of alchemy, which wouldn't be a suitable time to emerge. With the formation's concealment, the two were also unaware of the situation inside the alchemy room, so Lin Jing didn't need to worry. Consequently, Lin Jing began to meditate in the alchemy room, sitting cross-legged. And so, Lin Jing continued to meditate until the next day, when he finally concluded his meditation. During this period, although Lin Jing was meditating, he was constantly aware of the time. By now, more than 12 hours, a whole day, had passed since Lin Jing entered the alchemy room. It was time for him to go out. Following that, Lin Jing got up, shut down the alchemy room's formation, and then made his way outside. Before leaving, Lin Jing again extended his divine sense to sweep the exterior. As his divine sense passed over, Lin Jing found that several people had gathered outside the alchemy room. In addition to previously seen Lin Jing and Xiyue, Yin Ming, and both Xiyue and Ling had also arrived. When Yin Ming saw the alchemy room's formation being removed, he immediately brightened, then anxiously turned his gaze to the alchemy room. Even Xiyue had an expectant look focused on the alchemy room. Subsequently, Lin Jing did just that, opening the door of the alchemy room and stepping out under everyone's watchful eyes. Upon Lin Jing's reappearance, Yin Ming, unable to contain his excitement, stepped forward to meet him. Lin Daoyu, your alchemy session sure took a while. How did it fare? What are the results of the cleansing spirit elixir? At this moment, the others also surged forward, coming to Lin Jing's side. Even Ling, though he feigned indifference, followed behind the crowd over to Lin Jing. Obviously, even he was very concerned about the outcome of Lin Jing's alchemy. Given that Ling was this concerned, Xiyue, needless to say, was even less able to restrain herself and directly asked Lin Jing, Lin Daoyu, how did the refinement of the cleansing spirit elixir turn out? Lin Jing nodded, then took out the prepared elixir medicine from his person and handed it to Yin Ming, then said, I was just lucky this time. I have managed to barely live up to the expectations and barely managed to refine the cleansing spirit elixir required by Yin Daoyu. Upon hearing Lin Jing say he barely managed to refine it, Yin Ming was suddenly stunned. Following that, Yin Ming's mood instantly plummeted, and after a forced chuckle, he then comforted Lin Jing. After all, the cleansing spirit elixir is not easy to refine. Managing to refine it successfully is already quite good, but I wonder what quality is the cleansing spirit elixir refined by Lin Daoyu. At Yin Ming's words, Ling immediately perked up and then looked at Xiyue with a smug face. However, Xiyue, on the contrary, looked towards Lin Jing with disbelief, just like Lin Jing. Lin Jing was aware of Lin Jing's alchemy level, so he found it hard to believe what Lin Jing claimed about barely managing to refine it. Why then did Xiyue react this way? It somehow made one puzzled, as if Xiyue, like Lin Jing, also knew very well about Lin Jing's alchemy level. When Lin Jing heard Yin Ming's words, he was first taken aback. A moment later, he realized, obviously, Yin Ming had misunderstood Lin Jing's words, thinking he had not managed to refine a superior grade cleansing spirit elixir, only a lower or medium grade elixir medicine. However, since the misunderstanding had already occurred, there was no need to clarify it at this point. It would be better to give Yin Ming a surprise instead. Therefore, Lin Jing directly spoke to Yin Ming. Yin Daoyu, just see for yourself. All right. While speaking, Yin Ming took the 3 jade bottles containing the elixir medicine from Lin Jing's hands. Immediately afterward, Yin Ming opened the first jade bottle. The moment the jade bottle was opened, the scent of the elixir wafted out, and Xiyue already smelled the elixir fragrance, proclaiming, "Superior grade, cleansing spirit elixir." This fragrance, Xiyue was quite familiar with, and naturally, she wasn't mistaken. When Yinming poured out the elixir from the jade bottle, it was indeed the superior grade, cleansing spirit elixir. Yinming then picked up this superior grade, cleansing spirit elixir and carefully examined it. After a while, he put the elixir back away and then said to Lin Jing, "Being able to refine a superior grade, cleansing spirit elixir is already very impressive." Just at this time, Lin Jing also comforted Lin Jing. "Brother, it's okay. This time you managed to refine a superior grade, cleansing spirit elixir. I believe that next time, you will definitely be able to refine a superior grade, cleansing spirit elixir." Just then, an untimely remark suddenly blurted out. "Superior grade, cleansing spirit elixir. My auntie, she managed to refine 2 of them." This statement clearly came from an elated Jiling. When Jiling said this, he specifically looked at Lin Jing, his expression filled with provocation. Obviously, Jiling was not quite willing to concede defeat to Lin Jing. Upon hearing Jiling say this, anger surged in Lin Jing's eyes, and she turned her head to glare at Jiling furiously. And at this moment, Xiyue also turned her head, stared at Jiling, and rebuked sharply. "Shut your mouth. If you continue to be so reckless, from now on you'll stay at the Xinglaw Elixir sect and forget about going out again." Being scolded by his aunt, Jiling was somewhat puzzled and hurriedly looked up, incredulously turning to Xiyue. When he saw the sharpness in Xiyue's eyes, he immediately wilted and quickly said, "Auntie, I was wrong. I won't dare to do it again." Clearly, Jiling fully understood that his aunt was truly angry this time. Yet Jiling couldn't understand why his aunt would be like this. In the beginning, it was his aunt who said that she would help him regain face, and though she had already won, he was merely stating the truth, yet she was angry. Although Jiling was very puzzled, he didn't dare say anything more, so he just shrank to one side and stopped speaking. Following that, the patriarch of the Yin family took the jade bottle containing the elixir from Lin Jing's hands and opened it directly. This was just a small interlude. After this incident passed, Yinming immediately opened another jade bottle, which contained a medium-grade cleansing spirit elixir. Upon inspecting the medium-grade cleansing spirit elixir, only the last jade bottle was left. This last jade bottle doesn't contain a low-grade cleansing spirit elixir, does it? Yinming asked Lin Jing at this moment. Lin Jing did not respond, but directly said, "Lin Dao, you just open it and see for yourself." Then, without any further hesitation, Yinming opened the last jade bottle. The moment the jade bottle was opened, the refreshing fragrance of the elixir immediately wafted out. This fragrance of the elixir was so rich that it was much more intense than that of the superior grade cleansing spirit elixir from before. When Yinming smelled this fragrance, he was momentarily stunned and then became excited. This fragrance, could it be a superior? At this moment, Xiyue herself couldn't wait and hurriedly said, "Lin Dao, quickly take out the elixir and have a look." Lin Jing and Yiyan also approached at this time, while Jiling stood somewhat absent-mindedly to one side. Afterward, Yinming quickly poured out the elixir from the jade bottle, to reveal 2 perfectly round elixirs that rolled into the palm of Yinming's hand from within the bottle. Both elixirs were of a pure white jade color. Not only were they perfectly round, but they also had no impurities on them at all. Upon seeing these 2 elixirs, Xiyue was the first to react and exclaimed, "Superior grade cleansing spirit elixirs, and there are 2 of them." Yinming followed, and upon seeing the 2 superior grade cleansing spirit elixirs, he began to breathe more rapidly. However, Yinming still managed to suppress the excitement in his heart and carefully examined the 2 superior grade cleansing spirit elixirs. Only after a good while did Yinming finally look up at Lin Jing again, his face flushed with excitement as he said with a smile, "Well done. Lin Dao, you really are. You've completely fooled me. You actually made 2 superior-grade cleansing spirit elixirs. How can this be considered barely successful in your alchemy? This batch of elixir medicine has directly resolved the worry in my heart. Lin Jing also smiled and said to Yin Ming, what I said was that I barely managed to refine the cleansing spirit elixir that Lin Daoyu needed. It's just that Lin Daoyu misunderstood it yourself. After hearing this, Yin Ming laughed even more cheerfully. Good. It was a misunderstanding. Indeed, it was my misunderstanding. At this moment, Yin Ming was incredibly happy. Lin Jing's alchemy yielded 2 superior-grade cleansing spirit elixirs, which had completely resolved his concerns and worries. Even if it was a misunderstanding, it was a good one. This misunderstanding, he would rather have more of it. Lin Jue was extremely excited at this time, and he kept glancing at Ji Ling with a triumphant expression on his face. Meanwhile, Ji Ling craned his neck, staring dumbfounded at the 2 top-quality cleansing spirit elixirs in Yin Ming's hands. He didn't notice Lin Jue at that moment, but even if he had, he probably wouldn't have been able to say anything. After observing the 2 top-quality cleansing spirit elixirs for a while, Xiyue withdrew her gaze, turned to Lin Jing, and said, Lin Daoyu, for this competition, it's you who has won. About the bet between us, when do you plan to settle it? Lin Jing turned his head to look at Xiyue and then said, the matter of the bet is not urgent right now. After speaking, Lin Jing turned his head again to Yin Ming and said, Yin Daoyu, when you plan to have Yin Xing and Yin Yu, the 2 sisters, take the elixir medicine? After hearing this, Yin Ming replied directly to Lin Jing. Now, after waiting for so long and finally getting these top-quality cleansing spirit elixirs, I don't want to wait another moment, of course now. Having said that, Yin Ming carefully put away the 2 top-quality cleansing spirit elixirs. After storing the elixir medicine, Yin Ming looked up at Lin Jing again and said earnestly, Lin Daoyu, I won't say much else. From now on, no matter what difficulties you encounter, just let us know, and Spirit Rock Island will definitely give its full support. Having finished speaking, Yin Ming bade farewell to the others, took the elixir medicine, and went to find the Yin sisters. And at this place, only Lin Jing and his 3 companions were left, as well as Xiyue and her nephew. After Yin Ming had left, Lin Jing looked at Xiyue and asked, Ji Daoyu, is it convenient for you now? Xiyue looked at Lin Jing with a smile and said, Lin Daoyu, are you planning to settle the bet now? Lin Jing nodded and said, yes. Xiyue nodded and then said, of course. Following that, Lin Jing said to Lin Jue and the other, you 2 go back first. Lin Jue and Yi Yin didn't waste any words and directly left the place. After the 2 had left, Xiyue also convinced Ji Ling to go back. After everyone had left, Xiyue spoke to Lin Jing. Follow me? Lin Jing nodded and then followed Xiyue to the same hillside where they had talked last time. Once they arrived there, Xiyue spoke directly to Lin Jing. It's quieter here, Lin Daoyu. Whatever you want to ask, you can ask directly now. Lin Jing looked at Xiyue in front of him, who didn't seem at all frustrated by losing the competition, but rather was looking at him with interest. Lin Jing, seeing Xiyue's demeanor, had a thought and then suddenly said, when I ask questions, you won't just make up answers to fool me, right? If that's the case, then there wouldn't be any point in me asking you questions. Xiyue was taken aback by Lin Jing's sudden comment. After coming to her senses, Xiyue was quite annoyed and sharply said, what do you take me for? Am I that kind of person? Ask or not, it's up to you. If you don't ask, then I'm leaving. Seeing Xiyue's reaction, Lin Jing knew she must definitely have her reasons, so she would likely not deceive him. Therefore, Lin Jing quickly said with a smile, I'll ask. Of course I want to ask. I just spoke out of turn just now. I hope Ji Daoyu won't mind. Afterward, Lin Jing thought for a moment and then directly said, my first question is, Ji Daoyu, how did you find out my identity? Xiyue looked at Lin Jing, blinked, and asked, you mean your identity as the descendant of the Lin family? Lin Jing nodded. Xiyue then laughed, a very happy laugh. Well, that was of course a guess. All right, The first question is answered. Let's move on to the second question. After hearing this, Lin Jing's face instantly darkened, and he turned to walk down the hill. Seeing Lin Jing's reaction, Xiyue hurriedly called out to him. Lin Daoyu, you have 2 more questions. Don't you want to ask them? Lin Jing stopped in his tracks, turned around, and said directly, Ji Daoyu, you should know what I want to ask. If you're going to take this attitude, then there's no point in asking this question. After Lin Jing spoke, Xiyue shook her head with a sigh of helplessness. Sigh, it's really not easy to fool you. Having said that, Xiyue spoke again to Lin Jing. Lin Daoyu, come back. I will tell you everything you want to know. Lin Jing's expression eased considerably upon hearing Xiyue's words, and then he walked back. Next, Lin Jing looked up again, waiting for Xiyue to speak. It had to be said, Xiyue was very beautiful, even exuding a dignified and elegant aura. However, from her behavior, it was clear that her temperament was quite contrary to her appearance. At this point, Xiyue put on a serious face, which made her look much more serious. And then she said to Lin Jing, Actually, before this, I was fortunate enough to have come across a fragment of an alchemy tome, which is a legacy of an ancient alchemy path family. Although the alchemical techniques in it were incomplete and no longer practicable, there are still some valuable inheritances within, which have remained. So, is it that you found out about my identity during the time Lin Jing was concocting the elixir medicine through that incomplete alchemy tome? Lin Jing then asked. Xiyue nodded and continued. Actually, when Lin Jing first concocted the elixir medicine, I was already suspicious of your identities, but I was not yet certain. So, that's why I sought you out for the upcoming competition. And just as expected, you won. At this point, Xiyue looked up, staring straight at Lin Jing before speaking. To truly confirm your identity, it was actually just now. Lin Jing's brows furrowed slightly, as something seemed to dawn on him. Yes, just now. When I asked you earlier, didn't you respond? What could be more genuine than you admitting your own identity with your own lips? Isn't that right, the heir of the Lin family, the long-established family of the ancient alchemy path, Lin Jing? At this, Xiyue laughed again, her eyes curving like crescent moons. She seemed very pleased, almost like a little fox that had stolen a chicken. Lin Jing found himself at a loss for words, not expecting it to be like this. He had been outwitted by this woman. So you've been uncertain all along, always just probing me? Lin Jing said, his face darkening. Xiyue nodded and spoke to Lin Jing. Yes, it's exactly like that. After finishing, Xiyue didn't forget to console Lin Jing. But you don't have to worry about it. Whether or not you admit it, it doesn't make much difference. After all, the elixir medicine you've concocted doesn't lie. Since I had my suspicions, I would surely use all means to collect evidence and confirm your identity. Hearing this, Lin Jing looked up at Xiyue. Xiyue hurriedly said, Don't look at me like that. You should understand that it's not just me. As long as you continue alchemy, someone will always be skeptical. Your identity won't stay hidden for long. After hearing this, Lin Jing also fell silent. He understood this truth all too well. He needed elixir medicine to enhance his cultivation, and those around him needed them as well. The more elixir medicines he produced, the more inevitable it was that flaws would be exposed, greatly increasing the chances of being discovered. But that didn't mean he could afford to give up on alchemy for fear of choking. Moreover, Lin Jing, aside from practicing the alchemy techniques of the Lin family, also had access to the system space. And the alchemy Dao of the Lin family could serve as a cover for the existence of the system space, preventing unnecessary suspicion. Therefore, he was determined to continue with alchemy. What Lin Jing could do was to try his best not to concoct elixir medicines in front of others, thereby delaying the time of exposure. So that's the first question asked, right? Xiyue said, addressing Lin Jing. Lin Jing nodded and answered, Yes, I've finished asking the first question. Then, Lin Jing turned to Xiyue to say, Now, on to the second question. What is your true intention in doing this? I want to take you as my master and become your disciple. Xiyue looked directly at Lin Jing and said it straight out. Upon hearing this, Lin Jing's eyebrows immediately knitted together. Then he answered, "Impossible. You should know, the alchemy techniques aren't something to be passed on lightly. Moreover, since you have your own sect, it's even less likely that I would take you as my disciple." However, Xiyue's next words left Lin Jing completely silent. "What if I leave the Xingluo Elixir sect? Would you take me on then?" The top talent of the Xingluo Elixir sect planning to leave. Even if Xiyue dared to leave, Lin Jing wouldn't dare to accept her as a disciple. Furthermore, Xiyue's father was the Grand Elder of the Xingluo Elixir sect. Could she even manage to leave if she wished to? Lin Jing looked at Xiyue and saw that she was gazing back at him, her expression extremely serious. Lin Jing couldn't help but feel a sinking feeling. Could Xiyue really be considering leaving the Xingluo Elixir sect to become my disciple? Then, Lin Jing quickly shook his head, outright refusing. "That's not possible. You are the first genius alchemist of the Xingluo Elixir sect. How could you possibly take me as your master? If you were to suddenly become my disciple, not to mention the other members of the Xingluo Elixir sect, I'm afraid even your father would not let me off the hook." However, at this moment, Xiyue took a step forward, approaching Lin Jing and whispered softly, "How about I secretly become your disciple? To the outside world, we would still be considered fellow Taoists, but if there are no outsiders around, you would be my master. If master wants me to do anything at that time, I won't have any problems with it. As long as you pass on some alchemy techniques to me, that would be enough." Upon hearing this, Lin Jing suddenly turned his head to look at Xiyue. And Xiyue, not avoiding his gaze at all, looked into Lin Jing's eyes with some longing. This eye contact between the two lasted for a full quarter of an hour. Not until a quarter of an hour later did Xiyue lower her head with a blushing face. And Lin Jing's expression had become much colder. "Xiyue, I think there's nothing left to talk about between us." On hearing this, Xiyue's face turned slightly red as she bowed her hands towards Lin Jing. "Lin Daoyu, I'm sorry. It was presumptuous of me. I will definitely not use any charm enchantments on Lin Daoyu again." In fact, the reason Xiyue acted the way she did was because she practiced a kind of charm enchantment. This charm enchantment was different from others. It slowly infiltrated the sea of consciousness and subtly changed some of a person's thoughts. Most people would not notice it. The reason Lin Jing suddenly changed his attitude was because he discovered Xiyue was secretly using the charm enchantment on him. And Xiyue's objective, needless to say, was directly aimed at the Lin family's alchemy techniques. Originally, that charm enchantment should have been very difficult for Lin Jing to detect. Only, Lin Jing's divine sense was extremely powerful. Although his cultivation was only at the 7th layer of nascent soul, his divine sense had long surpassed Xiyue's and reached the nascent soul peak stage. It was precisely because his divine sense was so strong that Lin Jing was not influenced by Xiyue and was able to detect the inappropriateness. Moreover, Xiyue seemed to be too hasty in her action, which was also too irrational. Such behavior from Xiyue had touched Lin Jing's bottom line. Thus his face turned cold at that moment. After that, seeing that Lin Jing's expression did not improve, Xiyue quickly spoke up to explain. "Lin Daoyu, it was indeed my fault just now, and I apologize to you. In fact, my goal was not to become your disciple, and I know that to ask you to be my master is impossible. I just wanted you to help me repair the incomplete technique I had previously obtained. As long as Lin Daoyu can help me repair that technique, whatever you need, just say it, and I will try my best to satisfy your request." When Lin Jing looked at Xiyue again, his expression was indifferent as he spoke directly. "Daoyu, I think you have misunderstood. Between us, there's only the wager on those 3 questions. Besides that, there are no other ties. Also, it seems you have overestimated me. The books of ancient alchemy path handed down from ancient times are not something anyone can repair. Well then, if there's nothing else, I'll be leaving now. Farewell." After saying that, Lin Jing began to walk down the mountain. At this moment, Xiyue quickly spoke up and called out to Lin Jing. Lin Jing, there's still one question you haven't asked. However, without turning back, Lin Jing replied, No need, it's no longer necessary. Then, without any pause, Lin Jing continued down the mountain. Only after Lin Jing had been gone for a long time did Xiyue, who had been staring at his departing figure, finally snap back to reality. Looking in the direction where Lin Jing had gone, Xiyue furrowed her brows and, after a while, muttered to herself, It's over now, he's really angry. Then, glancing down the mountain again and not seeing that familiar figure, she immediately looked dejected. After a while, Xiyue said indignantly, Xiyue, how could you be so foolish to think of using charm enchantments on a descendant of the ancient alchemy path with strong divine sense? Now look what you've done, you've messed it all up. Afterward, Xiyue's brows furrowed again as she looked up in the direction Lin Jing had left. Looks like it's going to take a lot of effort to mend my relationship with him from now on. After descending from the mountain, Lin Jing went straight back to his residence. Upon seeing Lin Jing's return, Lin Jue hurried over and asked, Brother, how did it go? Did you find out what that woman's purpose really is? Did you get out of her? Also, didn't you say before that she guessed our identities? Is that really true? Lin Jing then spoke to Lin Jue. She indeed knows our identities. From now on, both of you must stay away from her. Knowing our identities, won't she put me at a disadvantage? Exposing our identities? Lin Jue couldn't help but worry. Lin Jing pondered for a moment before speaking. It's unlikely. She currently needs me, so she probably won't do something like that. Moreover, that Xiyue practices the art of enchantment. Both of you try to avoid her as much as possible and never be alone with her. The art of enchantment. Lin Jue and Yian looked at each other, then began to size up Lin Jing curiously. By the looks of it, they were very curious about what Lin Jing had gone through previously. But Lin Jing paid no attention to them and went straight back to his room. Lin Jing still had to think about how to interact with this Xiyue. This woman was somewhat difficult to deal with, and more importantly, she knew his identity, and since she was from the Xingluo Elixir sect, Lin Jing couldn't possibly kill her. At the moment, it was not yet time to completely break with her. He needed to maintain a certain relationship with her to ensure she kept his secret safe. After all, he was too weak right now. If his identity were exposed, it would definitely be dangerous. Thinking back on this now, Lin Jing felt somewhat annoyed. He had left too quickly before. The news came the following day. Sisters Yin Xing and Yin had taken the premium cleansing spirit elixir and successfully enhanced their spiritual roots. The two sisters, who had just succeeded in their enhancement, were immediately brought by Yin Ming to Lin Jing to express their gratitude. Seeing the improved spiritual roots of the two sisters, Yin Ming smiled from ear to ear, and Yin Xing and Yin were both extremely excited as well. Lin Jing also felt very gratified looking at the two sisters. Afterwards, Yin Ming found Lin Jing alone and told him that Xiyue had looked for him the previous day, wanted to talk to Lin Jing, and specifically requested Yin Ming to convey this message. After finishing the message, Yin Ming was quite curious about what exactly had happened the day before to lead to such a situation that he had to come and deliver the message. Lin Jing didn't go into details, only mentioning that there had been some disagreements between him and her that led to an unpleasant conflict. Later, Lin Jing also agreed to the request to meet with Xiyue again for a discussion. Yin Ming did not ask further and expressed that he would relay the message to Xiyue after going back. After the matter regarding Xiyue was settled, Yin Ming brought up another matter to Lin Jing. The successful enhancement of Yin Xing and Yin Yu's spiritual roots was a joyous event, so tonight Spirit Rock Island would hold a grand banquet to celebrate the sisters' spiritual roots enhancement. Their visit was also specifically to invite Lin Jing and his companions to the banquet. Lin Jing naturally wouldn't refuse the invitation to the banquet and agreed right away. On the next day, Lin Jing bid farewell to Yin Ming and then left Spirit Rock Island with Lin Jue, Yiyun, and Little Sparrow. After leaving Spirit Rock Island, Lin Jing did not return to Liyan Island, but instead steered the flying boat directly towards Beihai City. The banquet held last night was very lively, and during the banquet, Lin Jing even met with Xiyue thanks to Yan Ming's arrangement. This time, Xiyue was very humbled, and as soon as they met, she apologized to Lin Jing. She promised to never disclose Lin Jing's identity and vowed never to do so in the future. And Lin Jing forgave her previous behavior after her earnest promises. Afterward, to compensate Lin Jing, Xiyue consulted with Yan Ming and decided to give Lin Jing the 2 white jade cleansing spirit grasses that were originally prepared as a backup for the bet. Lin Jing gladly accepted them. With these 2 white jade cleansing spirit grasses, he could refine the cleansing spirit elixir to enhance the spiritual roots of himself and others around him. As for Xiyue, Lin Jing also understood her purpose, which was for that incomplete elixir tome. This time, Lin Jing didn't refuse, but said he would help her look into it when he had time. After this conversation, the relationship between the two of them had eased significantly, and Lin Jing could finally relax. In less than a day's time, Lin Jing arrived near Beihai City riding the flying boat. Since flying directly into Beihai City was prohibited due to restrictions, Lin Jing put away the Shadow Escape flying boat when they were still not in Beihai City, and then the 3 of them flew towards the city together. Now that the cross-realm transmission formation was built, Beihai City had become even more prosperous. Cultivators were coming and going incessantly. Many cultivators from families or other factions frequently came here to use the teleportation array, heading to the Nanming Domain or the Western Demon region. Lin Jing saw the 2 towering beams of light from a great distance away before reaching Beihai City. Those 2 beams of light naturally came from the 2 cross-realm transmission formations. Both were bidirectional and could be used by cultivators from both regions for travel. Although the formation made traveling much more convenient, the cost of teleportation was by no means cheap. Using these teleportation arrays required a fee of 100 superior grade spirit stones per person per use. And, at the time of teleportation, only superior grade spirit stones were accepted. Neither medium grade nor low grade spirit stones would work. In the southern outer sea region, superior grade spirit stones were already few and far between, requiring about 120 medium grade spirit stones to exchange for 1 superior grade spirit stone. Ever since the teleportation array was established, the price of superior grade spirit stones became even higher. One needed at least 130 spirit stones to exchange for a single superior grade spirit stone. Even so, there were still people unwilling to make the exchange. However, Lin Jing didn't have to worry about spirit stones. Previously, Lin Jing had obtained most of the Black Shark Gang's assets from the space ring of the Black Shark Gang leader, amassing a total of over 200,000 superior grade spirit stones. Added to that were the spirit stones he got from the Puppet Guild leader and other cultivators of the Puppet Guild during his time in the Devouring Spirit Blood realm. Lin Jing had nearly 300,000 superior grade spirit stones on him. With so many superior grade spirit stones, Lin Jing had more than enough for his use. After arriving at Beihai Island, the 3 people and 1 eagle passed through the city gates and entered Beihai City. Looking at everything familiar inside Beihai City, Lin Ju and Yi Yun's eyes also revealed a nostalgic look. The 2 had hardly visited Beihai City since they followed Lin Jing to Liyan Island. In particular, in recent times, the 2 had not been to Beihai City for a good 10+ years. Lin Ju was immersed daily in the Lin family's alchemy techniques, crafting elixir medicines for the Liyan Elixir Pavilion, and would occasionally come out to help Yu Chi Man manage Liyan City. As for Yi Yun, his outings were even rarer. Most of the time, he was cultivating at the Ground Flame Spring, and it was precisely because of his relentless cultivation that his cultivation had advanced so quickly. Then, Lin Ju spoke to Lin Jing. "Brother, we'd like to go back and have a look first. It's been so long since I've been back to the little house Grandpa left me." Lin Jing nodded and said, "All right, I'll come with you." Lin Ju looked up at Lin Jing with a smile and said to him, "Thank you, brother. Lin Jing also smiled as he looked at Lin Ju and replied, "I'm your brother. No need to be so polite with me. Let's go." Having said that, Lin Jing took the lead and started walking towards the interior of Bihai City. Lin Ju and Yi hurriedly followed. The group moved along, and they quickly arrived at Fang Market in Bihai City. The market was just as before, seemingly not much had changed. If one had to point out some changes, it would probably be the people. The market was bustling with people coming and going, and the stall owners seemed to change over time. Now, with dozens of years past, surely more than one generation of sellers had come and gone. Then, Lin Ju and Yi walked into the market, with Lin Jing following behind them. In Fang Market, Lin Ju and Yi looked around east and west, stopping to gaze, sometimes walking briskly forward. They were engrossed in conversation, immersed in memories of the past. Both had spent not just a little of their childhood in this market. It wouldn't be an overstatement to say this market held the memories of their youth. Their demeanor made perfect sense to Lin Jing. So Lin Jing followed quietly behind them without disturbing their reminiscing. It was their unique memory, and naturally, Lin Jing did not intrude. Their actions at the moment caught some sideways glances from others, but once those people noticed their cultivation, they would quickly turn their heads away as if they had seen nothing. Even though Lin Jing followed them, he had already concealed his own cultivation before entering Bihai City. Now, Lin Jing appeared to be just an ordinary golden core stage, early phase cultivator, naturally attracting little attention. In this way, Lin Jing and his companions walked on and directly reached the spot where Lin Jue used to set up his stall. That place was also where Lin Jing and Lin Jue first met. Previously, the spot was rather desolate due to its proximity to the heart of the market, with few stalls around. But now, perhaps due to the establishment of the teleportation array, even the deepest parts of the market were bustling with activity. At the location of Lin Jue's former stall, it was already occupied by someone else. There stood about an 11 or 12-year-old girl, who, despite appearing somewhat thin, had a determination in her eyes that seemed beyond her years. Besides that, on the stall in front of the young girl, there were several porcelain bottles containing elixir medicines. This little girl, she too sells elixir medicine. Her slender frame, resolute eyes. This little girl, she closely resembled Lin Ju when Lin Jing first met her. Seeing the little girl, Lin Ju thought of her past self. Immediately, a nameless emotion surged in her heart. Following that, Lin Ju walked forward and softly asked the girl, "Did you refine all these elixir medicines yourself?" Seeing someone inquiring about the elixir medicines at her stall, the girl quickly came over to greet. "Yes, senior. All the elixir medicines at this stall were refined by me. May I know what kind of elixir medicine the senior is looking for?" Despite her young age, she was not in the least bit shy, and by the looks of it, she must have been running her stall in Fang Market for quite a while now. Lin Jing looked at the little girl and couldn't help feeling a sense of familiarity, as if he had once seen her as a little girl himself. Then, Lin Jing couldn't help but laugh, shaking his head. Lin Jing hadn't been out of Lian Island for a long time, so how could he recognize this 11 or 12-year-old girl? It was probably because she reminded him of Lin Ju of the past that he felt this familiarity. Lin Ju then spoke. "Could you please bring that bottle of elixir medicine here for me to look at?" Lin Ju didn't specify which elixir medicine she needed, but simply pointed at one of the porcelain bottles. "All right, please wait a moment, senior." The girl was very polite. Saying so, she handed over the bottle of elixir medicine to him. After receiving the bottle, Lin Ju did not directly open it, but instead directly asked the girl, "Little sister, where is your family? How come you're here at the stall alone? Aren't your family worried?" After hearing this, the girl then looked up at Lin Ju. Perhaps it was because Lin Ju's gaze was sincere that the girl let down her guard. After hesitating for a moment, the girl replied, "My mother has already passed away, and my father has been bedridden at home with injuries. Uncle Yin has also been constantly looking for medicine to help my father." This little girl, too, had a pitiable life story. Lin Ju looked at the little girl, feeling a wave of sympathy. However, just then, suddenly an untimely voice came from the side. "So you finally showed up here. I found you at last. Two cultivators with ferocious appearances were looking at the little girl, their eyes revealing a hint of cruelty. Upon hearing the voice, the girl immediately turned pale with fright. It's you. How did you find this place? Among the two men, one bald man curled up the corners of his mouth, looked at the girl, and wore a sneer. Did you really think you could be safe by hiding out here? Where's your father? Call him out to face his death. Both cultivators had reached the golden core stage of cultivation, especially the bald man who was at the golden core late stage. Yet, these two were openly threatening the girl in Beehigh City, indicating the brazenness of their courage. The girl, frightened by the two, kept retreating until she bumped into a pillar behind her and finally came to a stop. With nowhere to retreat, the girl then mustered her courage and said to the bald man, "This is Beehigh City. You can't harm me and my father here." The bald man let out a sinister laugh. "Haha, brat, you're young, but you know quite a bit. Of course, I won't lay a hand on you in Beehigh City. But can you always hide in Beehigh City? I doubt it, especially with your father's injuries. He probably can't last much longer. Can he?" The words of the bald man caused the girl's newfound courage to instantly collapse. Facing the intimidation of the powerful golden core cultivator, she was without any support, appearing completely lost and even unsure of how to retort.